Hello, my name is Nikodem Pluzek. This is my third year game and mobile development coursework. The game is called Dashtro. It's a 3D roguelike dungeon crawler built in Unity. It's inspired by games like Binding of Isaac and Balatro. The premise is fairly simple. Your base has been invaded by monsters. You need to fight your way through and defeat the boss to reclaim it. Along the way, you can go through your base. There's some environmental storytelling of some tables being destroyed that you can look through. If we start off, you can see the start room. The gameplay loop is quite simple. You start off in this safe room. There's no enemies in the starting room. You have to navigate through the floor. There's several different rooms with several different branching paths. The rooms aren't mandatory, they're completely optional, but filling out all the rooms will give you rewards, such as coins, which you can see in this bottom left corner. That's one of the resources in this game. The central mechanic that defines Dashtro would be the dash. So this blue bar here refills as a dash system. You can dash away from opponents. It is a melee close quarters combat, not melee, but close quarters combat, and with enemy attacking melee. So the dash system is quite central and allows you to move out of the way before enemies attack you. We start off in this room. It's fairly quiet, just a desk and a table around for drinking. You go to the next room. Already there are enemies. There's two different types of enemies, the green and red ones. Green ones would be the more standard enemies, whereas the red ones would be more elite enemies that do more damage. One of the base mechanics of this game is with the dash. There's a cooldown period. However, when you dash and kill an enemy, the dash timer resets. This kind of encourages a more proactive form of combat, making sure that the dash isn't just used as a runaway tool, but also to play it aggressively. You can get in there, kill, run away, and kill again. It encourages some more quick and faster flowing gameplay. Over here to the right is a power up. When activating this, it's kind of like the treasure room. You take this and it increases your dash distance, increasing your character's system. Then we have also a few more resources to manage. In the bottom left, the red bar is your health bar. This just gives a bit of a tracker of how much health you have so far. As you can see, I've already taken some damage. If we go to the next room, two more enemies again. Clearing out a bit more environmental storytelling with the table being shattered apart. Clearly, you can see this is your base and it's been under attack. These alien creatures laying waste to it. You go through. This is definitely one of the more challenging rooms in the game, with the floor with multiple enemies around. Being able to clear it, you might clear it probably with quite low health, which is not ideal upon coming in here. Now we have, this would be the boss room. But before you go to the boss room, you might want to go over here to the left. Once again, completely optional. You're not mandatory, but you go over here and this is a shop. You can interact with. You can heal up. Definitely would be probably needed after if you do go around clearing all the rooms. But then you get the benefit of, if you clear all the rooms, you'll have enough coins to be able to afford all of these upgrades or items. So you can heal up, you can increase your damage, increase your max health in case you haven't taken any damage. This will be incredibly helpful, and increase the range of your attacks, ensuring that you can hit opponents. That makes sure pretty ready before the boss. The boss has a unique mechanic with, before he attacks, he has a charge system, so he can flash red, and then when he gets stunned into a wall, he will turn blue, so you know he's stunned. Look again, he will flash red and then charge. A bit off the screen, but then if he keeps chasing you, and make sure that this boss has a lot of health. You can see above, part of the UI is the boss health bar. It's a lot of it has quite a lot of health and does a lot of damage. So you have to make sure you can be cautious of it. But that's how you complete the first floor. We're able to go to the next floor. Unfortunately, I don't have a brand new second floor done. It's just the exact same first floor. But that's how it would work if there was. Player movement and collisions are done using the nav mesh agent component. The nav mesh surface is baked in, as well as for the enemy NPCs. It's a nav mesh surface. This ensures collisions between objects without manual collision handling. Then, as mentioned earlier, I touched on earlier slightly, the defining game mechanic of Dashtro is the dashing system. So the movements and dashing is completely controlled by the WSD move script. The cooldown is every 2 seconds. I believe this is long enough where it feels quite punishing if you misuse it, and quite rewarding when you get a kill and get the dash back. I like that this encourages quick and active game style. It encourages users to just get in there, get a kill quickly, dash around, maybe avoiding enemies, especially for the boss with the boss's charging based attacks. So this is the WASD move script that handles the player movement. So as the name implies, the movement is controlled by the WAS and D scripts, the keys, and the dash is controlled by the space key. The player attacks using left click. This triggers a sort of close quarters fire breath that comes out of the player character. This is implemented using physics with sphere overlap. With the player attack script visible here and shown here. It releases out an attack angle of around a 90 degree arc in front of the player. If this is a vector free angle, if the enemies lay in this and there's an overlap in this area, then they will get hit. The attack currently does around 50 damage per attack, which is enough to kill most of the enemy NPCs in a single hit, but the boss will require more than that to die. The floor is structured as multiple rooms laid out in the same scene. Each room is a game object with a room script attached to it, as you can see here. This script identifies what type of room this is, whether it's combat, treasure, boss, or the start room. It has an element attached to which doors are attached to it. This is used for when the room is cleared. A trigger zone fires upon room entry. This is what moves the camera. When the player overlaps with any of these triggers, the camera is moved back into this room the first time into this room. For a combat room, get components in children is used to find all health components. So for example, this enemy NPC here has this health script component here, and it makes sure that all game objects with all NPCs with a health component have died. So an on-death event. Once the room has been cleared, that unlocks the adjacent rooms. There is no mandatory path. The only mandatory goal is to finish to kill the boss. So I guess that means that this path here would be mandatory. However, there are a few optional rooms here to the right and this shop over here. There is some encouragement to fill out these rooms, as killing these enemies here leads to the treasure room here. Picking up this item obviously gives you the dash boost, as mentioned before, and then over here entering this room right before the boss will allow you to enter the shop and use the coins that you've used from killing the enemies before. Obviously that's another bonus from taking this right path here, is these extra 2 enemies here will allow you enough money to buy every single item from the shop if you would like. Now if we take a moment to focus on the boss, the boss uses a state machine with 4 stages: chasing, telegraphing, charging, and stunned. During the chase, the boss uses Navmesh agent pathfinding to follow the player, dealing melee damage when close, and after a set cooldown it transitions to telegraphing. It stops moving and flashes red. Sometimes this red can be a bit hard to spot with the lighting, but when it flashes red, as you see here, it charges, and then the blue indicates a vulnerable stunned period, as if it hits the player, it does not go blue. It instead is able to continuously attack and deal massive amounts of damage to the player, creating a game over screen if the boss is able to defeat you. This design, I think, directly synergizes with the dash mechanic, as you fight a boss with a similar advantage that you've had all game, as he's able to charge, but with the added bonus that this boss, if he hits you in his charge, will do massive amounts of damage to you. I think this helps the player finally use their dash to their full ability, being able to bait the boss into charging, then dash out of the way at the last minute, and take advantage of the stunned period to deal massive damage back to the boss. This is enemyboss.cs. Here is the enum for the state machine that tracks whether it's chasing, telegraphing its charge, in the middle of a charge, or being stunned. There are a few settings that can be changed throughout, whether it's the chase settings, how fast the boss chases. The charge settings, a few things can be changed to how much damage it does, its cooldown, the distance of its charge, the charge speed and its duration, then how long the boss is stunned for, and then just when the boss is regularly chasing the enemy, the player how much damage it does, its range, and its cooldown. I'll give it a quick scroll here through the rest of the script, how it's been written and how the boss works as a unique enemy throughout the game. No other enemy is coded like this. The shop itself is a fairly unique room here. So there's a shop manager game object here with a script that handles a few different things. So the shop has a unique UI, an item container that holds all the items, item button prefab, and then the individual items themselves. These affect the user stats, whether it heals the current health, increases the damage from the player attack script, increases the health from the health script, or increases the range once again from the player attack. And then here are the assets I used, all from the Unity asset store. Low poly power-ups for the power-up in my treasure room, modular prison asset pack for some of the torches, boxes, and other items scattered around the rooms, low poly medieval market for my shop, the pack-free textures for some of the wall and floor textures, low poly dungeon lights again for some of the items and assets, hand-painted stone textures for the floor, 3D game kit for the characters, and then grid box was for the original room layout. Here's an example of an animated controller. This one is for the player. So this one's quite simple, just idle and then running. Then the enemy NPCs would be similar to this one, except for also a close attack. And finally, I just want to say thank you for listening. Dashtro is a complete roguelike loop from the starting screen to the branching dungeon floor pattern and functioning combat systems with a shop, treasure room, and boss room. There are win-loss conditions if you win or lose, and there's the central dash mechanic is my main gameplay mechanic. I think it rewards an aggressive, skilled playstyle, and I've got a few ideas for future work, but for now this is my initial prototype. Thank you for watching.